Autism. Oh.
Hey, everybody.
Minutes. I don't know if you've seen when I turned it on.
What you say? I didn't hear you.
I just turned it on. I didn't start anything. I was just noticing the questions. Somebody said, "What questions are you answering today?" Whatever people bring up, whatever everyone wants to discuss.
Oh. Um, oh,
Myself.
what is that noise? Is that me? I don't know if that's me. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. I think it's okay. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me take these off. Maybe that's it. Okay. Can you hear me? I still hear the noise. Okay. Welcome everybody to tonight's Let's Talk Autism session, where this is open discussion for those of you who are brand new. It's open discussion. Let's talk autism, where anything autism goes. Well, almost anything autism. But if you have a question, how this works is um, throw it in the chat. Linda and I are parents just like you. So we will try to do our best to get to your question. If you see a question in the chat that you can help with, feel free to chime in. That's what it's all about. Parents and caregivers and anyone else that's here, helping everyone that's here as we can. I'm going to, I need to just come out, but I'm going to share. I need to share a couple places and I will. Oh, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nita. I am one of the admins of this wonderful establishment.
Their admin.
I'm just sharing it on my page. 1 second. Okay, so hopefully everybody is doing good this evening. Hey there, Patty and uh, Patty, Jason, Kathy, Sonia, uh, Nicole. Okay, some people may be in the group because I can't see your name. Give me 1 second. Doo-doo-doo. You guys are okay this evening.
Kathy and Chrissy, Courtney,
Yeah, Linda, I
Raquel.
think that's something with your end.
Okay, hold on. Let me switch mine over. What
Okay.
is it? What's it sound like, Anita?
It's going zzz, zzz, something like that.
I have Emily right here too now.
Hey, Karina. Hello, I'm new. My son is 8 and severely autistic and has a lot more. Welcome. Welcome. Doing fine. Great. And is it normal? Patty says, is it normal for autistic kids to bang their head? My son just started this. I don't know if it would necessarily be considered like normal, but I think some autistic kids, um, have a tendency to bang their heads or self harm themselves. Anyone in the chat have any experience with their children banging their heads? Maybe you can give her some suggestions. Hello, Wendy. And let's see, I can't pronounce that name. Kringate 10. Welcome. My son used to do that as an infant. Oh, wow. What kind of things did you do to help him? Your son, too, Wendy. What sort of things did you guys do? Okay, headgear if necessary to protect his brain. Okay, like the little helmets you see some of the kids wearing. My son does. He also self harms with hitting. I have to curl him up and hold him. Hey, Jolie.
Hey, can you hear me okay now?
Amy, you're saying leave me alone. What's wrong? Yeah, I can hear you, Linda. I'm sorry. I'm trying
Okay.
to see.
Oh no, it's
Amy,
okay.
Amy is saying leave me alone. I want to make sure he's okay. Is someone messing with you? Hey, JC. I hear Emily.
she's watching she's watching TV, but she's laughing at something on the TV. I could hear her like laughing and doing like this at the same time.
uh, uh, Crenegade. I'm just gonna say Crenegade. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. That says, "How old is your child?" Um, Hi from Nikki. Hi, Nikki. And Wendy says, my son used to do that, but I had to really work hard with him because he used to He used to do that at night. Okay. So you keep working with them to help kind of slow it down or stop it altogether. Hey, Mr. Charles. And to answer your question, Renegade, she says he is 3 turning 4. And Wendy says first look for options how to protect his head and body using long pillows. That's a great idea, the body pillows.
And I have Kathy who says, I talked to you during the week about my grandson who is having withdrawals from his meds. He's doing much better now that he has passed the 3-week mark. Going to try outpatient program instead of inpatient since he is doing so well. My daughter is afraid to put him back on any meds for fear of this happening again. Do you remember him? I think he's the one on clonidine and Zoloft were 2 of them for sure. That's good. I'm glad to hear he's doing a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah, and that's a good thing too. Yeah, especially because he could do this again, right?
Mm-hmm. April, I'm sorry your name isn't showing up on the other end, but says my daughter has a boyfriend. She has been dating him for 1 year. My 3-year-old grandson cries and runs from the boyfriend when he sees him, but loves my daughter. What do you guys think? Is it the autism? I don't know if I would necessarily blame it on the autism. Maybe he's just, like any other kid, probably some strange person coming into mommy's life. We don't know. I mean, that would be a hard one to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Love this group. Appreciate you. We appreciate you too, Lisa. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Julie says I missed the part that what you guys were talking about, but Julie says my I think she means my son used to do it sometimes out of frustration and pain. I treated it as a way of communicating. Often found he had ear infections. I think that goes back to something you guys were talking about.
Was it the bang in the head?
I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. I got him an iPad and downloaded a couple communication apps.
Okay. And Nicole says my son bangs his head and hits himself, but I just have to hold him tight and him a tune to him and tune to
Hum
him
a
till
tune to him.
huh?
Hum a tune to him.
Oh, hum a tune.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you. I'm sorry. Hum a tune to him till he calms down. I got it now.
Leonella says, my son also did that also till we found a form of him communicating his wants and needs for us. Once we were introduced to his communication device, it decreased a lot. Think about finding what triggers it. And Michelle says she just found out that her younger son also has autism. I guess she has.
Michelle.
So is it that you have 2 boys and both of them have been diagnosed now?
And Wendy says swimming classes help too because they relax them 30 minutes once a week is enough for them. Therapists of ABA. Okay.
Okay. Julie, your last comment about the warning sign, is that in reference to the grandson and the daughter dating? Yes, it was Zoloft and clonidine. This is Kathy. We are so afraid to try anything else since he still will not take anything at all but his anxiety. I guess at all but his anxiety. Thoughts on meds that would not cause the awful withdrawals he went through since he could do this again at any time. I know that for anxiety, there's shorter acting. I know 10x could be a shorter acting depending on what kind of regimen they give you, but I know it is shorter acting. Like we could use it as needed. And whereas Nita has it where I think he would be on a regular dose. So I guess we can opt to use a regular dose or we can go down to as needed. So I know Gothocene / the name brand 10x can be used as needed or shorter term, so it can be stopped. But you want to confirm that for sure. Make sure whatever dose they have them on, that it can be set like that. With us, I know we're on it as needed up to two total pills a day, and then in any combination that we want to use it throughout the day. And then they also have the benzodiazepines could be shorter acting and as needed as well.
We started now that you mentioned that, we started it today because I wanted to see, not today, yesterday, I wanted to see how he would act instead of, starting it on Monday.
Oh.
So last night I gave him the Gothocene at 6:30, and I gave him his clonidine at the regular time, which is usually around 7:15, 7:30. Did well. He slept really good. Woke up this morning because we are weaning him off of the methylphenidate. I still had to give him the methylphenidate at his usual time in the morning. Just act like he was going to school. So he'll be on the methylphenidate for a week. He takes one of the Gothocene right now. And once he gets completely off the methylphenidate, he'll take two. He'll take two of those a night. So far, so good. And
that's good.
Get him away from that,
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. I was like, wait, what? And then I remembered why you talked to him in the first place.
Yeah, they did. She also mentioned it was two other medications. She said the Gothocene, Adderall. I think she did mention that, and I forgot the name of the other one that works like Gothocene, but I chose the Gothocene and said we'll see how this works with him. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
And Grenegade, we'll just say VC. VC says, I use white noise to soothe their thoughts. Okay, yeah. A lot of kids like the white noise, mimic sounds in the womb. Hi, Michael. Welcome. Nice to meet you. This is one from YouTube. Nice to meet you. I have autism and I don't like meeting people at all outside. I tend just to stay in the house alone, or if certain family members I'm really used to. Okay, well, welcome to the chat. Text cards, they make all types of communication strategies. Yes. Yes, they do.
Julie says, for those with nonverbal, you don't have to buy an expensive iPad with a communication app anymore. You can purchase a Kindle Fire 7 on sale for $30 and the Comboard's ACC Android app for $4.99. And you just have to sideload it, which you can Google and do within a few minutes. And that's for communication, using something cheaper than an iPad and something more economical for communication device or communication purposes instead of having an iPad and then buying the app and things like that. And that's it could be as cheap as $30.
Let me open up. I don't know where this one is coming from. So I have to open up, see where we are. Oh, here we are. Mr. Charles.
So Kathy says, not sure how anyone is going to get anything into him at this point. Nonverbal is tough because we can't make him understand. The meds will help him. Hope an outpatient will figure something out. Yeah, that will be good. And then that way, at least it's all outpatient. And then she says, thank you so much for being here, ladies. And I'm so glad I found, yeah. Um, you're welcome. And yeah, I hope that it all goes well
Me too.
with everything. And oh, he was 6 years old. That's right. I was trying to remember how old he
Yeah.
was. I believe he was 6.
And the doctors kept pushing him away from,
Yeah.
yeah, that was kind of strange to
Mm-hmm.
me because
Yeah.
I couldn't understand why they would do that,
Mm-hmm.
especially someone
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. With all the details and stuff, I keep thinking he's a little bit older than he is. But yeah, he was only 6.
Okay, Facebook user. I don't know which one this is coming from, but it says same age of my son when banging his head before. Now 7 years old and stop because I keep working on him by stopping to do bang his head and now stop. Well, that's good. Good. Glad he stopped. Patty said he seems to do it more at school. Wow. Yeah, definitely. If you haven't already, invest in that helmet. You may can get the school to get you one for that, that purpose. Mr. Charles says music is good therapy. My mom used to sing in the house all the time. Oh, and I bet your mom had a beautiful voice, Mr. Charles. Wendy says there is a lot to do with our children. It's just love, patience, and faith of little by little. It will be better and better. It just takes a lot of read on Google like ARC autism. Okay.
I can't remember where it is, where you push notifications to get a notification every time we go live.
Oh yeah, it should be right in the corner. Those three dots, maybe.
In the top. Oh, in the very top, right?
Yeah, should be on. If you're looking from a laptop, it should be on the right. Those three little dots. On the phone, I'm not sure. Maybe somewhere at the bottom, maybe.
And we
The
really
key
can't see it, but yeah. Like,
the key to this is a lot of patience for our loved one. Yes, it is. We definitely have to have love and patience. Those are key things. Definitely. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay. Mainstreaming is the go. Yes, they do, VC. My son has autism and ADHD, to diagnosis, so I know the topic really good. And I do too. My son has both diagnoses too. Oh my goodness. Yes, I've been dealing with it for these last 13 years, so I know all too well. So I feel you on that, Wendy. Patty, thank you for answering my question. If more info comes to light, PM me. I have to get back to work. Okay, no problem. Thank you, Patty. Music relaxes them, but it has to be the one I like. I used it for my son to sleep like water or birds. Yeah, see, music wouldn't go with my son at nighttime. He likes music, likes to sing, but at night, what would put him to sleep is engine noises. So he can put something on YouTube or even on his TV that goes, "Rrrr," and he's just fine and he'll be knocked out. Music would probably disturb, but that is a great idea for those kids who can sleep with music. Today was my stepbrother's birthday. Typically very heightened, but today he sat and had a conversation with us for 20-ish minutes. Something, oh, beautiful, beautiful.
And how old is he today? Julie says, I had an expensive iPad and app, and it got broken at school. I got the Kindle Fire and app for $4.99. It was just as good, if not better. As a side note, the professional said my son couldn't use the communication device, and he does it like a pro, great for teaching spelling and learning words because it's always pronounced the same way. That is really good. I never thought about that.
Michael says I use an app on my phone to talk to people. If I have to answer them, it costs me $5 from the Android Play Store. It helps me. Oh, that's cool. Melatonin is good for them to sleep. Yeah, some, not all, because we tried melatonin too. Didn't work for us, so we had to use clonidine just so he could get restful sleep as well as myself too. But yeah, melatonin for those that it works for is beautiful because I've heard good things if it does work. But for us, it just went, that little brain said, no, 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 no. So now he's been on clonidine for a few years and it works wonders. He gets his 8 hours. Sometimes he fights it. So mom used to sing all the time. I think it made a difference for me. Beautiful. Nothing like mom's voice. Nothing. Singing to you. My grandmother used to sing to me. Yeah, nothing like that.
Oh, really?
Yes. And she used to sing the little man when he was a baby before she passed. That was her little man. He would just dance. She would say, "Get it, little man." Rest in peace, mama. Yes. Yeah, he was 3. He just made 3 when she passed.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And he was born in 08 or 07?
06.
06? He was born in 06? Why does it seem like he keeps getting closer to Emily in age? What, in July, right? So, yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to have it in my head. They're only 17 months apart, okay? Or 16 months apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
06, 0706.
Man. Yeah. Maybe the older they get, that gap isn't so big anymore. That's what it's feeling like.
Wendy says, I'm planning to get a training dog for my son because he is a teenager now and sometimes it's hard to stop him. Okay. With the banging. Well, that's a good idea too. The dogs. A lot of people ask for those too.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Charles says she did. Oh, beautiful. I still remember mom regularly regaling us with the song, "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning" from the show Oklahoma. Oh, what a beautiful. I can't sing, but.
I wouldn't know what song it was, though. Good thing you sang it, so now I know.
And Lisa says, I sing to Alice all the time. Oh, beautiful. She can sing nursery songs from memory. Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's
And
funny the
Michael,
names that you remember from the page.
oh, yeah. Michael says, what is your thought about autism using the internet? I'm only allowed on Twitter and YouTube because my phone checked once, OS checked once a week. I am 29.
I think that has a lot of different aspects to it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think when Emily's 29, I'll probably still be checking.
Yeah, you may need that extra protection, Michael. Just be thankful someone is looking out for you.
Yep.
That's beautiful. Wendy says, thank you for your support. Thank you, Wendy, for the tips. Always appreciate it.
And he said today he turned 36, but typically 12-year-old mentality on a regular day. Birthdays are lots of fun, like a happy little boy.
Oh.
So he talked for like 20 minutes. It's good. Or they had a conversation for 20 minutes. It's good.
That's wonderful.
Michael says, I've seen you live a few times, and I finally decided to join in. My son was diagnosed with autism. He is almost 3, and we are learning every day, and he's starting school and going into a program soon. We are working every day, and I'm so excited for him. Our little guy is our world. We've just learned to be patient and give him all the love. Also, he loves music. So we are always singing and dancing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So good.
The music makes you feel good all around, everybody.
Yeah. Said he's almost 3. Oh yeah, so he's getting ready for school. What state are you in? It's funny because some states have the children go to school right when they turn 3, and some don't. I'm just now starting to see that. Kathy says, just putting it out there for anyone that has a child or that absolutely refuses meds after 3 years. We went through 3 weeks of hell. My daughter is so afraid now when he shows any signs of anxiety. He's only 6 years old. Yeah. For anyone who wasn't here midweek, he's 6 years old and he was on 3 different medications, anxiety, and there was an SSRI medication, SSRI, which is Zoloft. You're not supposed to stop that one immediately. You're not supposed to stop clonidine immediately. There was one more medication she didn't know the name of, and he stopped all of his medications. All of a sudden, he just stopped refusing all of his medications. So he went through 3 weeks of withdrawal without any medical help. They wouldn't do anything at the hospital or anything to help him. Birth to 3, they go straight into preschool here in West Virginia. See, so that's one. Here too, you have all your services. So I knew at like 14 months something was different. So she had services all the way until she turned 3. Then she had school district. Once she turns 3, like supposedly education takes over, and then anything that's not being met at school will be finished up at home, which is what she also had. But I see that some kids are not in preschool. Hey, Victoria.
Yes, Michael, we are on Twitter, Autism and Us. Autism and Us.
We are in Illinois. He's in the early intervention program right now, but when he turns 3, that will end and he will go into school. He will have therapy at school and one-on-one time with the teacher. Also, we are hoping for music therapy since he loves music so much. That would be great because that's the way he would learn really well because he likes music so much. And so that's the way to get through to him. Like kids who like horses, they have they call it equine therapy. They have water therapy. There's a few different ones, but of course, you would want to lean towards what the kid's interest already is. Terry says, my grandson is 18 and we have him go in a quiet room. Now, I wonder,
Hello,
is that at home?
Angelica.
Is that at home or in a program? Or does he have that special place like at home where he can go away and it's quiet and he can go calm his anxiety down? Julie says, read that you can buy and train your own service dog. To pass the service dog test, the dog just has to be calm in public, in parking lots, and transit. Also has to sit under the table and not beg or be aggressive towards others. You can buy the service dog gear for $100 or so bucks and take your child's companion wherever you go. I was just talking to a woman at the park about this too. She didn't have the dog with her, but I noticed that her son was autistic, and we started talking, and she was telling me about her dog. And I asked, did they go into a company and find the service dog, find it that way, and apply for it and things like that? And she said no, because I think she couldn't find one for less than $12,000. But what they did was they were getting they trained him. They got him trained and certified themselves. So it was like the same thing right here.
And I see Michael has followed us on Twitter. Well,
Oh,
welcome,
thanks,
Michael.
Michael.
I'll follow back.
And Terry says at home, his room at school, they let him go to an empty room. Oh, to an empty room. Oh, so at home, that's we have him go in a quiet room. Oh, in a quiet room. Yeah, that's a big thing, because have you guys ever seen that video where there's a kid who's walking around? The sun is setting on that side. There's a kid and they're showing what autism is like, and they're walking around the mall, and you can hear all the different sounds echoing and how loud it could be, and how much anxiety it was causing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it'd be vital to have absolutely no noise at some point in the day to be able to de-escalate the meltdowns. Because I noticed with Emily, the longer we're in a place like that, it's just bound to happen. It's going to be a meltdown because she just can't take it anymore.
Kathy says, my grandson is also completely obsessed with taking baths. My daughter has to give him about 6 baths a day. Sorry, I have so many questions, but not really anywhere to turn to get answers. Wow, and he's 6, and he takes 6 baths a day. Wow. And I'm making light of the situation, but with some kids, it's so hard to get them in the tub.
Yeah, I
6
was just thinking
baths
that.
a
Yeah,
day.
because normally you hear the opposite problem here. You hear you can't get them in the tub. They're
Right.
having to do washcloth baths. They're having, they're trying to ease their kid into water. I've never heard it the opposite, but I guess this would be the same thing as anything else, right? That they, I don't want to use the word obsessed, but that they they tend to do
Like
a lot.
water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's and you're okay, Kathy. That's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't have the answers to everything, but there's other parents here who may be able to help you, and that's what this is all about.
And knowing that you asked that, we will know and remember that somebody else had the same thing.
Right.
So we will know how common it actually is. So Terry says he's the oldest grandchild, so he is teaching his sister, cousin, and family more about autism.
Wonderful. That's what it's all about. Awareness.
Exactly.
Spread the word.
I don't think we've ever discussed autism in my family specifically before, Emily.
Right. It wasn't even a topic of discussion
Mhm.
in my family for
No.
DeAndre. And Mr. Charles says it wasn't until I was in my mid-teens that I began, oh, excuse me, showering every day. It's one of those boy things, Mr. Charles.
Michael says, my son wants baths in anything where there is water. LOL, is water therapy really a thing? I never heard of it. Yeah, I wanted to do that with Emily, but I wasn't sure I because the whole she likes water and everything, but I wasn't sure if we could go through swimming lessons, and I wanted her to go through swimming lessons. We were going to do like a type of water therapy, but it's kind of like they had like swimming, they had different things. They started when they're infants. They start different water things with infants. So I wanted to do that. Then I found out about autism, and yeah, they do have different things. Like they have even so, as far as like say if you were to swim with the dolphins and things like that, they have that therapy as well. But yeah, if you start looking towards different things, you'll find things like I didn't know about horse therapy until like just more recently. That was the most recent one that I heard of. But yeah, that's and then it gets to a point when you waited too long for swimming lessons. I don't know if we can still do it.
Thank you, Michael. I'll definitely check out some of your posts later on Twitter. Thank you so much.
You know whose son does really, really good with water?
Oof.
Carrie. Carrie's
Oh,
son.
really?
Yeah, and he's
Okay.
like,
He's
yeah,
a
he's like a
swimmer.
fish. Yeah, and he's I'm pretty sure he's fully nonverbal. I don't believe he has any words, but he might, but I don't think so. Yeah, it's called hydrotherapy. I knew there'd be like horse therapy is equine, hydrotherapy for autism.
And for those of you who are just joining us, because I just opened up another watch party, this is our Sunday live Let's Talk Autism session where anything autism goes. And like I always say, just about anything autism goes. So if you have a question, a concern about autism, a suggestion, feel free to chime in the chat. We'll try to get to as many questions as possible. But if we can't, if you're able to help in the chat, please feel free to chime in any advice or suggestions you may have for other parents. And thank you for tuning in with us. And Victoria says, horse therapy has been around for special needs for as long as I can remember, but I was raised in horse country, so maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's why I knew. Yeah.
And I'm sure it has. Yeah, I just haven't.
Mhm.
And I
Me
think
neither.
maybe
I hadn't
mhm,
heard about it
yeah,
either.
I knew it for more physical things, but I never knew it for autism. So I when I heard it later on for autism, it was but I didn't know that it worked for physical therapy and autism in some of the same overlaps, and it works in the same benefit. It says pediatric, it could be aquatic therapy as well, but it says what it helps is with concentration and attention span with autism. The therapy focuses on play-based functional movement, facilitating neurodevelopmental growth and improving range of motion. It improves body awareness and helping the children have fun.
Oh, excuse me.
Are you, oh, you said that yesterday, right? You were coming down with a cold or something?
This
Oh
morning.
yeah. Oh, this morning. That was this morning. That's right. Because I was like, I didn't hear from her yesterday.
Yeah, I wasn't. I couldn't do anything yesterday. I stayed in the bed all day. When I was
Ah.
talking to you, I was in the bed, and I kept saying, "I'm gonna go downstairs and do a live." I said, "Nope, I can't get up."
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I said
I
that was
was
early on.
dead. Ari, did you give him his? Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. My daughter is home from school, the youngest one, so I've had a house full of kids, my kids, and then my dad has been working in the kitchen. It's like,
What
oh,
happened
here
to
she
your
comes.
quiet house?
Here she comes. She wants to show face.
Hey, Ari.
Hi,
Hey. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
My baby girl. Hi, Nellie. Nellie says, excuse me. My son loves water, whether it be bath or pool or anything. When we went to the aquarium in Toronto, he was so calm. Yeah, I would think that the noise from the water is calming. I like that too, though. The calming noise and just watching the fish and everything. Kathy says, my daughter was also so very strong, but she seems to be losing it lately after what we went through with the withdrawals. She is with me. She is with me or texts me nonstop, and I'm here for her, but I don't have the answers, and she will not see anything positive anymore. All sad. It, she'll things will probably look up once, she'll probably get a better positive outlook. Are there any physical groups around in your area, Kathy? Support groups where she can go. Maybe maybe she can try that, getting out and talking to other parents face to face. Maybe that'll help. Who wanted the new kid? Right? And you know what, Victoria? It started off because I did. I needed a new sink. I had the old ceramic sink, and I've just been here a year, so I'm kind of doing little by little to make the house mine completely. So I wanted the new sink, and all of a sudden it was, we're gonna just tear all of this out and redo the whole thing. So yeah, I needed the new sink. Nellie says my son has autistic and very violent. Anyone have any suggestions to help him with the violence? Anyone? Anyone who can give Nellie and Cruz some suggestions? I would ask, what kind of behavioral therapy is he in right now? What are you doing? What are you doing to try to help curb his violent behavior? What steps are you taking? And maybe another parent can chime in and help with that too. Melissa says, how do you get someone with autism to shower? They fight so much. So here's the opposite. We have one that's obsessed with taking baths and showers, and then we have another who fights. Is it that they don't like the water or the sound? Maybe it's the sound of the shower, maybe.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out it was the bath sound for Emily.
The water.
Yeah, and then it had been so much that she was afraid of the sound that she associated it all together. So it took me so long to undo that, to be able to say, look, the water's already in here, and for her to get used to it. I also had to let her know ahead of time, because even if I felt like she didn't understand, she did. So if I let her know it was going to be baths and she argued about it and she was fearful about it or she resisted, still maybe within 20-30 minutes, by that time she was used to the idea that, okay, I'm still going to have to take a bath, whether, but at least she had time in her mind to adjust to the idea. And she still does that right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If I say bath, like if I was to say it right now, she would say no, and immediately she'll say, okay, bath. But because she's not thinking it until I tell her, so it catches her off guard.
Hi, Laura. Laura says, my 4-year-old doesn't like to get wiped during diaper change. Maybe it's a sensory issue. Yes, could be. She's so strong. Medicine takes two people to get her to take it. Yeah, the diaper change, that could be a sensory issue with her. And Michael says, I was bullied on Facebook. Mom checks phone once a week now. My sister wrote to a couple celebrities and they'll follow me on Twitter now. Okay, yeah. Well, mom is doing a great thing. She's checking to make sure no one messes with you. So that's wonderful. And all right with the celebrities. Mr. Charles says, what moved me to start showering daily was other kids at school asking me when I had last had a bath. Hey, okay, Mr. Charles. Melissa says the water going in the face even tried a shower visor. Oh wow, and he still don't like it. Probably it'll be a continuous slow process. Probably eventually. And Kelly says, good news. We had 2 poo-poos on the potty this weekend.
Yay.
That's good news. All right.
I noticed that the more that I noticed that the more that Emily played in the water outside, the more that she did, say like in the pool, with the water outside, the more she was able to put her face under the water, get her hair wet, things like that, the more comfortable she became with baths and as far as washing her hair and things like that, and understanding that if her face got wet, that she was going to get the towel and that she would just keep her eyes shut until then. But the braver she got with the water play, the better she got with bath.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good idea though. Water play to help make it's a start. Make you comfortable.
That was the other thing we did too, was buy tons of different things to play with in the tub. So whether it was the things where you draw with the soaps, the soap paints on the walls of the tub, the tiles, or the different bath toys, there was lots of stuff. We just made it fun in the tub.
And Victoria says, I have to fight both my boys with diaper changes. Thank you for having me on. I typed in.
Okay.
You're welcome, Michael.
And
Hey,
this Michael says, hey, Lorianda. Says, talking about violence, how can we stop our son from kicking? Because that's been a challenge lately. Does anyone have any advice on how to get our son to stop kicking? We try to redirect him, but he still does it. I don't know if he receives ABA yet because he's in, I think he's in birth to 3, you said, or he actually has therapies, but then he goes to school. He's the one who goes to school soon because he's about to be 3. He's in Illinois. ABA helps with that. With his age, almost being 3, it's kind of like an ABA thing right now. When he gets older, it would be more of an aggression thing. It's aggression now, but it's a 3-year-old or almost 2 to 3-year-old is going to be physical anyways when they start to resist or they're playing or they're doing things. They kind of do that anyways. But now is a good time for ABA to be addressing this. And he probably has ABA if he has therapies at home right now. And they will address it at school. They will definitely help you with that at school as well. They'll probably put it as one of his goals as far as what they're going to work on his IEP to get him to have fewer incidents of kicking and hitting.
Thank you for having me on your chat tonight. I have to go now. I found you. I typed in chat. Live on YouTube. Best wishes. Best wishes, Michael. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Michael.
Victoria.
And Terry says, I wanted everyone to know that my grandson will be graduating high school with a 3.8 GPA. One of his friends has been with him since Head Start, and he has autism. Oh, that's a
All
long
right.
time. Yeah.
All right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I love to hear those wonderful things.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I've been saying Michael. I am so sorry. It's Michelle.
Michelle.
Yeah, I don't know why I was saying it like that. I am so sorry, Michelle. I apologize. Oh, you're welcome, Michelle. I hope it goes well. Usually they will. Sorry, this the sunset is right in my face. Sorry. Yeah, usually they will work with you with everything on the IEP as far as things like that. So the closer he gets to school, or when he gets into school, they will implement that into his IEP. That's a good thing about an IEP. When he goes into a program like that, they're already knowing what the behaviors are and they'll address them.
And Nellie says, hi, ladies. To answer your question, my son is in behavioral therapy with hands, IBI, and ABA therapists. They give us some help, but the violence is still here. It is still there. He's also hurting himself now. It's very sad to see. Oh, hopefully something to give with that.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any parents listening in or can maybe give her other suggestions, she's doing the behavioral therapy with hands. Maybe you guys can give her some kind of suggestions to help her out. And Kelly says Liam loves water too much. We spend 35% of our days army home in the tub. Water lovers. Okay, you guys. I'll be right back. I'm gonna put this on mute. I have to go upstairs and get DeAndre together. Because his dad will be here shortly, and I will be right back. Well, if you have to leave or anything, just go ahead. But I'm gonna put this on mute and be right back.
Okay.
Gotta find the mute, huh?
Okay. Oh, there it is. Oh, here. And the last comment I can see is, oh no, I can see some right here. Hey, Gloria. How's Colton doing? And how are you doing? Yeah, I can see you, Lorianda. Yeah. Oh, I can see you now. I wasn't. Okay. So, Lorianda says amazing 3.8 GPA. That's wonderful and congratulations. She said I'm going to play back because sounds like I missed some good conversation, and give DeAndre a hug. I seen Colton was learning, or he's very interested in the U.S. states. I seen that this week, I believe, beginning of the week. I just picked him up from grandparents' house, so he's a little wound up, but we're used to it. It's all good. Does he get hyper when he goes over there? Or he gets really excited? I've been really proud of Emily. She's Yes, he's got them all memorized. That's good. I was looking. I remember those. I like those flashcards that you printed out for him. I remember when my older kids were learning the states. They learned this one song. It's kind of like the way I guess you would call something a jingle, and it helps you to remember what's coming next. And that's how they remembered their states. So now when I'm thinking of some, I can kind of recall them by that song. Hey, Veronica. I seen somebody on the page talking about waking up laughing. Waking up. It was almost like night terrors, but it was the opposite. It was waking up laughing. I seen that maybe yesterday or something like that. And Veronica said that Eddie had done that, and that reminded me of what we were talking about maybe 2 weeks ago. How they either wake up crying or laughing. And yeah, I actually seen somebody who said their kid wakes up laughing. The post was really about laughing fits, I think, though. But then somebody said that in the comments. Yeah, it's funny how they do that. Nathan, my son Nathan used to do that all the time. And we'd ask him and he would not respond because I don't think he was awake. And oh, Lorianda says hi, Veronica. I think you can see her right here, right? Yeah, I sleep too. Yeah, that's how he was. He was so my first son. So they're 22 months apart. He would wake up with the night terrors, crying, just crying, crying, crying. And then maybe about a year or two later, then Nathan started waking up, just waking up laughing like things were just so funny. I mean, it was so much better though because he was laughing instead of crying, even though he was probably in the same wakeful or sleepful state. Charles says my late second wife, Heloise, used to talk about how I would wake up laughing all the time. Really? I'll see you later, Nicole. I even have night terrors like that lately, either laughing, crying, or fussing. They say that you get it. I think it was said. Oh my goodness, that you get it when you're extra tired. Like so, if you would get it like when you have sleep paralysis. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. And one of my son that had the the night terrors crying, he actually has sleep paralysis often. Colton wakes up talking, LOL. This morning it was something I can't even remember, but it was weird. Now I can't think of. I always wish I would write it down too, because I wake myself up with it, and I always mean to write it down, or always mean to remember it and never do. Yeah, I don't think Emily's ever done that. Emily's like a really light sleeper, so you can just ask her something. Like I could say, Emily, are you asleep? And she would just say yes or no. Normally she says yes, she's asleep. But you can just walk into her room and say something and she'll answer. she's been trying or tasting new food. The one food that she would not taste, she ate a carrot, she tasted a grape, she tasted different things, an apple, and she eats no fruits or vegetables. The one thing she would not taste was a corn dog. She ran out of the room when the ABA tried to introduce it. Yeah, she's a real light sleeper. She's just, I can say it from my room too. Emily, you're sleeping, and she'll say yes or no. Yes, one that I remember was about what would happen if the Earth was a cube instead of a. Well, he's a deep thinker. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. Oh my goodness. And he's fully verbal, right? I mean, he's not considered delayed verbally at all, right? He didn't seem like he was. Does he watch anything? Does he have anything that interests him besides the States? I have a friend whose son is real interested in history. So, and I don't think it's U.S. history. I think it's world history that he's interested in. He's about 7, but he's really interested in world history a lot. I mean, like 7 years old. Yeah, it's and he knows a lot too. I mean, oh my goodness.
Hey, I'm back.
Oh, your dad left? Oh no.
Oh yeah, he's been gone. I was trying to get DeAndre together for when his dad
Okay.
comes. Yeah.
Oh, I thought DeAndre was gone last week.
Where?
I thought he was with his dad last week.
He was.
So he's coming back from his dad?
No, he's getting ready to go to his dad. He got here on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because I remember the school situation. I was like, wait, I know that was with him. Okay.
Yeah, and then they had a couple of days off, and we still have to go up there. Hopefully Monday.
I was just gonna ask that.
I can meet with them.
He never went back to school yet. I mean, it's still been snow days.
Yeah, he went Friday.
Oh, okay.
Friday.
I got it.
I have to see. I got to get up there either tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Veronica.
Gloria said he didn't start talking until he was 2 months after his 3rd birthday, but then he just took off. Oh my goodness.
2 months after his what birthday? 3rd?
Second birthday.
Second birthday. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Or 3rd birthday. Sorry, 3rd.
Hi, Laura. Laura says, not sure how I could get my son to stop hitting himself in the face or blurting out bad things like he's stupid. The worst kid in the world. Oh, he has ADHD, but I think he may be level 1 autistic. Hello, this is the school.
Family, please take time for these important announcements. Tomorrow is Spirit Dates Academy family. Please take time for these important announcements. Tomorrow is Spirit Day. Students can wear their base gear with dress code bottoms. All money from the Little Caesar Pizza Kit sale is due Monday, March 2nd, 2020. PTA will be available at 7:30 a.m. and after school collect money in room 61. Please make sure all forms are completely filled out. Thank you. Have a great week, and let's continue to expect excellence. To opt out of future.
Now watch, they're going to call back in about 30 minutes with the same message.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why Emily does that too. It always acts like I hung up on it or something. Gloria said he asks all kind of questions. He's interested in states and letters. He talks about hunk of chunks all day long.
Hey, Shakira, that's my little cousin.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wonder who that was. Okay. Hey, Shakira.
Them robot voices are all, yes, they
Yeah,
are.
that's what I was laughing at.
Does anyone have any suggestions for Laura, her son, to stop hitting himself? Any things you guys have tried?
Where's that one at? Did you read that one or is it in the main
Yeah,
one?
it's in my watch party.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
She said, shh, shh,
Oh.
she's saying choo 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 day all day long. LOL. If you say any words with a hunk, a chunk, he stops you. Just say that was a hunk, a chunk. Ch ch ch. LOL. Lorianda says, hi, Shakira, Nita's cousin.
Mm. And since we're slowing down a little bit, I want to say to everyone that I appreciate each and every one of you in the group. We have some mean-spirited people that are around, and Linda and I have expected to deal with all types of personalities, but sometimes people say things and it's very hurtful and hateful. So we like to tell you, each and every one of you, that we have love for everyone, no matter your race, color, or creed. You all are beautiful, and we will hope you would feel the same way about us. So I just wanted to put that out there because this is the second time, maybe, that we've had a very hateful
Yep.
message.
Yep.
And when people tend to say how they really feel when you're having a disagreement. And I often wonder, with those types of people, why are you here? I have to ask. You see who we are when you come into the group. So why would you even stick around if you have that much hate in your heart? But I love everybody. And as long as you love me too, we are all right.
Yep.
I just had to put that out there. I wish I did. Eddie used to hit himself for a short amount, that maybe a few months when he was 4. Then he just stopped. Yeah, hopefully her baby will just stop. Hopefully, Laura.
Yeah. How old is her baby?
Laura, if you're still here, I don't know if she wrote that while I was away. I stepped away. But if you're still in the chat, how old is your baby?
Hey, Crystal.
Mr. Charles says, reminds me of how my mom learned not to tell me that a joke I had told was far-fetched, that a joke I told was far-fetched. But she told me that I would always respond, I fetched it too far. Winter coats are fur-fetched. They fetched them too far. Okay, Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles.
And Crystal says all of our kids are on the spectrum and they are all different. Exactly.
Yes. Yep. That is for sure. They all have their beautiful differences.
Yep. One thing Nita and myself have always done, we've always been very transparent and very present in this group. So it's not that it's a new thing of who we are or who's, who's put this group together, which is a shock, but yeah.
Like I said, when you see things like that, not only is it hateful, it's hurtful, because
Exactly.
it's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Why did you even come into the group? And yes, we kind of going around things. It was something that happened earlier and something that was said, but yeah.
People's true feelings will come out, yeah.
They will definitely come out.
Yeah. The other thing is too that we've had it, we're not going to put it one way or another, but we've had people come in and say, maybe you should make this group focus on this and that and focus on these people, or, and, certain, maybe single moms, or, things like this. And we're not targeted towards anything but our loved ones on the spectrum. There's nothing else as far as what criteria you have to fit. Like Crystal just said, all our kids are on the spectrum and they're all different. And the one similar thing is they're all on the spectrum, but they're all different. So we have that in common, is that they're all on the spectrum. So nothing else after that matters.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Gloria says, we love you too. Don't let them get under your skin, please. We love this group, and the diversity is what makes it work. With only one culture, we would only have one set of ideas instead of many different ideas. We have learned from everyone. Exactly. Yep. And that's how we intend to keep it.
Yes.
Yeah. It was a wake-up call, but it just shows me, okay, some people belong and some people they can go and take their ideas and there's not elsewhere.
But we get it from so many angles. You guys wouldn't believe some of the stuff we see and read, and the people we talk to personally, and it's unbelievable. And again, but for this is the second time this particular incident happened.
That crude,
and it's like I said, it's not only hateful, it's hurtful. It's like, wow.
Yep. Because then it makes me wonder, did they really have any other issue? But
right.
I mean, it must have started from somewhere, so I guess so. I don't know.
Veronica says, my nephew has ADHD and he would twitch his eyes a lot. His twitching has progressed a great deal, like a lot. My mother-in-law has taken it upon herself to tell my nieces not to be alone in a room with him because he's possessed, oh my goodness, by the devil. I don't understand. She was doing so well. Understand Eddie and his autism. And now that I found this out, I don't understand. Wow. Really? I'm glad I never saw the hateful post. I am too. Because, I mean, it started as a post, but it ended up in the inbox, and that's how it usually happens. Because they don't want anybody else to see it. They want us to see it. They don't want anybody.
And she was pretty bad on the page, but she got belligerent in the inbox. Oh my goodness. I was thinking, did I read that wrong? I was like, Steve, can you drive through at the park? And I was like, well, no, Steve, you got to drive. I got to address this. Oh my goodness. Yeah, needless to say, she was reported for hate speech, and
she got the boot real quick.
Yeah, and she attempted to contact me again. She got reported for harassment that time.
Yeah, I think Laura is gone. I can't deal with the mentality. It's so hateful.
Yep. In a support group, that's what I never get. People get so upset in a support group. Lorena says, I love you both very much. I got you. Thank you for having this group. to help us. Never doubt. I prayed earlier about the situation. As long as love is in the group, Satan will try to come in. Autism and us, you are amazing. Linda and Nita, you are both gems. Thank you, Lorianda.
Thank you. Thank you. You are too. All of you are.
And Crystal says, I think people are angry and express their feelings wrong. Definitely. Because there's never a time you can stay calm, you can stay cordial, and then there becomes a time of nonsense. It's just, there's a level where you can take it to just that level that it's just nonsense. And then you're not even heard or seen beyond that anymore.
Right.
You have no more foundation or points to bring out with me anymore.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One person with autism is one person with autism. Yep. I believe it, Nita and Linda. Oh yeah. Yeah, those. And then those inboxes are crazy sometimes. Remember, someone has worse disability than your child. I was just talking about that too. I was saying no matter what with your child. Okay. I was just saying this. I was saying that no matter what with your own child, whether it's my daughter with autism, which is she's considered severe. If it was someone else's child with OCD or anxiety, or somebody else's child who has a physical ailment or something that may be more severe than my daughter's autism, when it comes to it being your child, to you, it's the most important thing. And that's allowable. I mean, that's not something I'm going to argue with. I'm not going to say, oh, my child has something more severe than yours. And I'm not going to take away from anybody else. Really, each person's situation is their own situation, but at the same time to be respected, as their situation, something that they're dealing with. And so I think that kind of goes both ways, that yes, there's always a worse situation, and then there's even those that don't seem as severe, but they're not to be discounted either. Because I guess when it comes to your own babies, it's big to you no matter what, right? Yeah, she had some issues. But yeah, that's a good point, Crystal. That she I don't know if she had been here a long while. I don't know if she's just having an off day or what. And Veronica, that was new as far as your mother-in-law? Because I know she had had her opinions before, I believe so, right? With Eddie, and now she's gone to that now with her with your nephew. Yes, no matter how difficult it can be, sometimes at Colton, I read things up and feel sometimes I shouldn't even address what we go through because other families are dealing. That's what I always think too. And then I came across somebody who told me that and thought, I have it so much more rough than he does because his child only goes through severe anxiety and OCD and something else, and yet he stresses over it so much. But I didn't feel. I told him, I said, because he was feeling guilty that he felt so stressed over his situation. But as I told him, that's your situation and that's your daughter. Yes, I mean, when it's your child, you should feel that, and you shouldn't feel guilty for feeling concerned with what your kid does go through. So I think it goes both ways. I think yes, and someone does have it worse than us, and then at the same time, don't ever underestimate or think that you're worrying too much about your child, because that's what motivates you and keeps you going, keeps you advocating for them, right? Is understanding and helping them. She used to say when Eddie was 2 that he has autism because he didn't present him to God. Oh, Really? She just said that out loud like that? But I had to tell her and educate her. I told her I wouldn't bring the kids over. I found you, Veronica and Gloria Thompson. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've seen people doing that with autism. They say, I think Africa's really big with that. They believe that it's a curse that the child has. I don't remember if they said what they called it, but they were possessed. Gloria says, I mean, like Colton can't dress himself yet, can't wipe his own butt, but he can tell me verbally that he loves me and that he needs me, and people are still waiting to. Exactly. Yeah, that still waiting to hear their children say, I love you, mommy. Yeah. I had when I was really concerned about Emily, I think it was kindergarten, that one of the teachers told me, and I was asking how verbal he thought she would be, and he said some people are still waiting to hear their child's voice say words. And that put a whole lot of things in perspective for me, because she was saying, I love you already. And she was saying a lot of things. So that gave me a whole lot of perspective. Yeah. I remember when I realized that Emily had autism. I don't remember. We might have been coming up on 3 years old, maybe 4 years old, maybe up until she was 5, and I would hear somebody say to their kid in the grocery store or something, they would tell their kids to shut up or be quiet, you're talking too much, you talk too much, things like that. I'd almost be like in tears, because they didn't understand that what they're saying and what I was going through were totally opposite things. I was wanting my daughter to be able to talk like that, and here they were upset because, upset at their child for talking. No, she's saying this hurtful thing about 10-year-old boy, and my nephew gets nervous around her. Oh, and now his twitching is worse because she stresses him out. Oh. Yeah. I was trying to get my granddaughter out of the magic house because she was screaming, and a nice lady offered to help me carry her. She was mad because I wouldn't let her climb up the slide instead of using the steps. That was good that you had help, though. Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't chuckling at the comment. I was chuckling at because it can take something just like that. Because let me see. You said she was mad because you wouldn't let her climb up the slide, because something that simple right there could cause a whole meltdown, and then just simply telling her to use the stairs instead of going up the slide, and turns into this whole big thing, right? But that was nice that she helped you. We can't be in denial, or our babies won't get the right services. Exactly. That is one thing. That's definitely true. We have to address what's ours, and we have to understand not what the next person has, not what the last person has, but what we're dealing with and what our child needs. Because if we don't accept it, like I said, we don't learn about it, we don't know it, we don't know our kids, how can we advocate for them? And yes, and we do want our babies to talk.
Oh goodness, somebody's at my door again. Be right back.
Mm-hmm. And like the ABA intake person told me, she said, just remember, it's a delay, it's not a stop, it's not something that may not ever happen. I mean, it's not something that you've said, this is never going to happen. She said, let's just think maybe it might happen, but it's going to happen later. So if something hasn't happened already, she said, don't give up on it. Just expect it hasn't happened, but maybe it's going to happen. It's just going to be here late. And I do notice a lot of things like that. Like she didn't start asking questions, and it's still only maybe fewer than 10 times that she's asked the question, but she's 15 years old now as well. And she did it when she was 14. So they're just starting, but I never ever would have thought it took that long for her to ask a question. And I'm just talking about where question, and maybe 2 or 3 times she's asked why. And never could I have guessed, oh, when she's 14 or 15, this is going to happen. Had somebody told me that maybe even 5 years ago, I would have thought, no, that was with your kid. It isn't going to happen with mine. Charles is trying to say it's ridiculous religion. He's putting 2 words together, I believe. Religious was the title of a movie made about 10 years ago. It well describes some of the things people say in the name of God. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, there have been some, I remember when Emily was a lot younger, I can't remember what year it happened though, and they were supposed to be doing a thing. I don't know if they were exercising him or they were doing something. And he had autism, and I don't know exactly what went wrong, but I know the kid died. I want to say it was a Pentecostal church that it happened in. It was here in the States though. I was thinking the same thing while Amanda says to Gloria. Not that religion is ridiculous, but she is using religion in a ridiculous way. Yeah, it's strange how some people just really think that they attribute it to things like that. Like I said, in Africa, they believe that lots of part of Africa, they believe that it's demon possession or some kind of possession. I forgot what they called it, but that the kids are possessed, they're not, and that it's a punishment, but not that it's an illness, or I don't even know if I want to call it illness. That it's a difference. I don't know, but they don't take it as a diagnosis. They take it as a possession type of thing, and that something must have been wrong. The family deserved it. My son would only eat 2 things when he was little. Now he eats many things since he's 18. See, and that's really good to hear, because now Emily's 15 and she has a limited amount of foods, but she's willing to try some with her ABA tech. And I see her wanting to try things, and she's doing it, and she's not having such a difficult time with it. Like, I think she knows that I haven't steered her wrong as far as what kind of things I'm having her try. So hopefully around 18, I'll be able to say the same thing. She's eating more food. And autism for me has been easier since he's older. I'm starting to feel that way. I'm hoping that it keeps going this way, but I've noticed too that some years and some months were easier than others.
Okay. I just got a report of a very rude comment. Can we not be so rude to each other, everybody?
Another one?
She's getting muted. And I'm going to delete.
Okay. Yes, people, unfortunately, they think that. It's a belief that God micromanages the universe and leads to all sorts of illogical conclusions. And poor kids, because as if they don't have a tough enough road already, right? Even with all of the therapies and everything, all the resources and things are tough. But think about if everything was against them like that. I'm worried about puberty already, and we're still years off. Well, you'll know who to talk to. I have a daughter, so you'll have to be talking to Nita about that one.
Okay.
Gloria.
What was that? I'm worried about puberty already, and we're still here. Oh yeah, honey.
And Veronica.
It's coming.
See, we both.
Hopefully you guys won't have it as bad as puberty, because it's that you get the alpha male thing that I haven't been through yet, but you also get that other side of puberty where the boy thing. So
Well, you'll always be years ahead of them. You could do seminars by that time.
right.
That is really neat that you had a boy and I had a girl, and they're about the same age and everything. So I'll teach the 20% with the daughters. I used to want my son to talk so badly, but when he started, oh boy, I don't like talking back, but I love to hear his voice. I know Emily has said some things that I think, okay, I can't laugh or think that this is funny or amazing or in awe. Either which way, whether it's good or bad, if it's shocking, I can't react that way. I have to plan my responses calmly, because I don't want to scare her off from speaking. But I do, okay, now which category does this go into? After, sometimes I have to turn around and just look at Steve like, oh my goodness, did she just say that?
Okay, Lorienda. With us though, I'm hoping, because we had to do a medicine switch, but I am gonna call you Lorienda so you can give me some other tips. But we had to do a medicine switch with DeAndre. And I think I spoke of this last Sunday or Thursday, where the medicine that he was on could either cause erectile dysfunction or the opposite. And DeAndre was experiencing the opposite a lot. So we're gonna try to calm it down. So that's why we had to do the medicine switch for his ADHD.
Gloria says, that's why these people need to stop being so rude. I'm going to need this group for many, many, many more years. Right? I know there's some days that I thought, what can we do to stop this? But the only thing is to sometimes put it away and walk away, get a breather, come back. And the other thing is to address them right at that moment and to decipher whether they need to go or not, because then you don't have to deal with them again. Because if they act like that now, they're going to probably keep that same reputation throughout. So it's about sorting through those ones. And
yes, Veronica, poor little man. Poor mama, because I didn't want to see that or deal with it. Yes, I did.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. What is he, 20, 23? No, is he 23? He is about 22, 23, right?
Who was that?
Brandon.
Oh, yeah. I think so. I think
so.
Hi, sisters. Hi, sister.
Anita is so calm too. I don't know how she comes up with some of these words. Like, I have no, like, she must have said a prayer before she started. I have no idea where she comes up with this. So I didn't even see something today. She got to it first, and I thought, I was thinking, whoa, she handled that good, but I still had to.
Yeah, sometimes before I respond to people, because people will come at you, and then you have to take a deep breath and then answer. Because if you answer before taking that deep breath, something that you don't want to come out your mouth will floop right out your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, he is 23. Oh, okay, good. I did get it.
Okay, you've been dealing with it. that handles things so well. I've seen. Yeah, Veronica was
Yeah.
there once on live. Oh my
Was it
goodness.
on live? And it was when I was in Japan, right? I think it was like I want to say it was back in November.
Yeah, this one happened not too long ago. Veronica, right? It was a couple weeks ago, maybe. And she,
Oh, you.
yeah, I told you.
Mhm.
And the lady, you know, when you're talking and you're in a rhythm, you got your
Mhm.
rhythm going, and someone pops
Mhm.
a question out there, and you're reading it, and it's like she just messed up my flow. I had to take a deep breath.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Woo.
That was last week. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. My kids are still talking about that time and when it was back in November and somebody came on live and said something and I want to say she was talking about some cure or something. And they said they still to this day would be like, remember Nita Space? But you were calm and collected.
Take that deep breath.
That was before we had that rule that we don't discuss that, but nonetheless, I think we did mention it. I think we mentioned it ahead of time. She was coming for me.
Thank you, Veronica. I try.
Yeah, she's really good. Because today, yeah, she got back to it before it was addressed to me, but yeah, she got back to it first, and I thought when I seen it, and then I said I'm about to show Nina this, and then I seen that she already responded, and I was like, okay.
And then I had to tell that lady, she talking about somebody calling her out. Wait a minute, hold
Mm-hmm.
up. Didn't you just call us out?
Yes. Mm.
Oh, you were there too,
Oh
Lorian?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought Veronica was yeah. Mm-hmm. Veronica was on the one in November. Yeah, it was your face that you were making. Yeah, you did really good though.
Okay, so
Yeah, that's what I thought.
is there anyone who wants to come on with us and join us for a couple minutes?
Did you hear what Lorianda said? She said, in my head, I went gangster for Linda and Lita. Thank you, Lorianda.
Yeah, you know what though?
She only seen it
Lorienda
from this
does.
side too.
Lorienda does. She do.
Mm-hmm.
She be like, she be on it. She be like, replay. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I'm like, all right, girl.
And she only seen it from this side. She only seen what the lady wanted everybody to see, and that even wasn't pretty. And glad I'm, in a way, I'm glad I miss all the really bad stuff, but I'm also nosy. Yeah, it's sometimes, yeah, I wish I didn't see the bad stuff. That's why as soon as we see it, we know immediately who has to go, because if we didn't do that this whole time, they would be so many in here. But we stay on top of it. It's pretty good. You see them and you say, basically, after I feel like this, if we say something to you and you say something back after that, we already know the mentality. Okay, we'll deal with it now.
Mm-hmm. And I like Linda too, because she'll say, did she just say what I think she said?
Oh my goodness. I had to even say, but oh my goodness, I had to even
And
the
little
whole
sweet Linda, when she go gangster. Oh my God.
somebody said that on Periscope. Because I will be nice until I'm not nice. I mean, it's because I've given you a chance. I was nice until. Mm. You just did it.
Hey, Wendy. You're back.
Hey, Wendy. I could if you post the link. Post what? For what?
The link
right
for
there.
StreamYard.
Yeah, I think me and Veronica are.
Uh-huh.
Veronica did something else. She did something, and somebody said, somebody said something about Veronica and said, I can't believe Veronica. And I said, yeah, I can, because Veronica reminds me of me. So whatever they said, it didn't shock me, because I was like, no, that's me. So I know Veronica's the same. Wendy says, my English is not perfect, but I hope you both understand.
Yes, we do.
And we're not. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I post the link, Mr. Charles.
It's going to be hard getting out for school. I didn't get him to bed. Night all. Good night, Gloria.
Good night.
Gloria.
What'd she say?
She said, Linda Garidi is a gangster ninja.
This terrible girl. Yeah, she handled this last one like a professional. I was like, yeah, that's
goodness.
That was I'm nice until I'm not. Yep. Hey, Mr. Charles.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Linda and Bonita. How are you all doing?
I'm doing really good, but I was doing better yesterday before you played Words with Friends with me yesterday. Well, before you beat me really bad.
Wait a minute. Y'all playing Words with Friends? I want it.
Yeah, we did, and actually, it's the first time I played that game. But I've been playing Lexulus though regularly online, and so it's similar. So
he beat me so bad, it's not even funny.
He beat you real bad. He beat you.
I was playing one part. I was like, I don't even want to play anymore. he got like an 80. It was, I believe it was an 80-something, 84-point word or something.
What?
Yeah, it was some word I played that was that counted for a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had a triple word score and a triple letter score.
It had
I hit some
in there.
big things that. But yeah, well, in Lexulus, I once made a play that was, I think, 331 points or something like that. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I got so mad. I was like,
good.
But that was only once, though, and all the times I've been playing it. So I mean, but yeah. So how have y'all been doing anyway? Other than that.
Good, pretty good.
Yeah. Yep. How are you and Cindy?
We're doing fine. Yeah, after our meeting today, we went out to dinner at a restaurant, about a half hour away, and heard good things about it. Yeah, it was a really nice dinner, and so it was nice. And then we came home and relaxing now. In a couple of weeks, we have our 8th anniversary. We'll be going out of town for that. But
oh, nice. Where are you guys going?
We're planning to go to New Orleans.
Oh, nice. Oh, I just seen some video there.
Cindy has never been there. I've been there twice, but both times it was on business. So this is my first time there on.
Oh my goodness. My daughter showed me video of New Orleans, and it literally looked like it was something like at Disneyland when they have New Orleans Square and they have the music and everything playing. I thought it was like a prop.
New Orleans is beautiful.
Yeah, it was
especially
so
around,
pretty.
and if you are a partying type of person around Mardi Gras, it's really
yeah,
really nice.
We stay away from that, but this is 3 weeks after that, so
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. It's already happened, right? Mardi Gras?
Yeah. It happened a week ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they still have, other little cities have their
Mhm.
little Mardi Gras that
Oh,
surrounding
okay.
areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched cops around, a couple of times, and they had a thing where they were in New Orleans at Mardi Gras, and they had some interesting things come along.
Very interesting, I'm
Uh,
sure.
yeah, detail about some of the things they had to deal with, but yeah, it was, it must be a unique experience for police dealing with that.
Hmm. Charles always has the best days every time he gets on lives. I get jelly hearing about me too. Me too, Veronica. Out to eat, anniversary, going out of town.
Well, I really, really appreciate, I mean, I think about, years ago when I was growing up, and, I was way ahead of everybody in math, but couldn't figure out how to fit in socially with other kids. And, and back then, so little was known about that. I wasn't diagnosed. Even much of what medical science thought it knew about autism was wrong. Like Bruno
Right.
Bettelheim's refrigerator mom theory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the very first things that I read about autism was refrigerator moms. And I thought, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I thought, and I was, you just have to read enough things to know that, okay, that was one thought. But if you come across that first,
to read, you'll cancel that out. Like,
yeah, that was put away.
Well, the thing about that is that, back then, the entire psychiatric branch of the medical profession idolized Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud was considered the father of the study of psychiatry.
He was the man.
Yeah, and he was a notorious. His philosophy was, when in doubt, blame the mother. And so Bruno Bettelheim's theory and his study showing that was fraudulent. It was a study he never performed, and that he never actually performed a study, but he claimed he had, and he claimed that it proved his theory. And the medical profession at the time ate it up.
Yeah. Yeah, and it took how many years before people started to doubt him?
I have to take off. Love you all. Okay.
All right, good night, Anita.
Good night.
Good night.
I'm gonna log out of here.
How many years before people started to actually doubt him in the way, and take away his credibility of some things? It took a long time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know I first heard about autism in the 1970s as my late first wife, Judy, and I watched a movie about educationalistic children. That's the first time I ever heard about it. And at the time, because I saw them spinning wheels in their toys endlessly, I said, well, I never did stuff like that, so I couldn't relate me to that. It wasn't until the 1990s, the movie Rain Man came out. My daughter went to see it. She started urging me to see it, but she wouldn't say why. And then finally came on TV one night, and I watched it, and that's when I saw the connection between it and me.
Yeah, because it would have to be something, because there's so many different levels of the spectrum. You'd have to see somebody on the spectrum that had some similarities, and not everybody is going to suit everybody. Like, so if you see one person on the spectrum, that's not going to suit everybody else on the spectrum. They may not all be able to see a common ground there.
Yeah, I mean, earlier that year that I watched it, there was an article in Awake on autism, and I read that, and it had a box in there on special abilities, and that's what made me think, I wonder if there's a milder form of this, and if I might have it. But then I kind of forgot about it until I turned on TV one time that December, and the movie Rain Man was coming on. I said, well, let me watch it. Dorothy's been saying I should watch it. Let me watch it. And that's when I could see the similarities between Raymond and myself,
Yeah,
and of course the special ability in math, which
that's what I was
I
going to
have.
say next. Because if somebody doesn't have that, but so you almost have like you're gifted in that area, or almost. I mean, I don't know if I want to say savant, but to me, when you say some of your math problems, to me it sounds like savantism. I mean, because it's so way out there, like I can't even think of the problem, how to write the problem down, let alone solve it.
Well, see, the difference though is that for me, it's what makes me not a savant is the fact that even my knowledge of math I can apply in a practical way to life, and I have knowledge and understanding of other things too,
In a balance.
and so as opposed to Raymond, who could, I mean, I couldn't even match him in his ability to, if 2, 3 times ahead, I'll multiply them. I won't multiply them as fast as Raymond could, but I will multiply them in my head.
Yeah.
That impresses a lot of people. But he could do some fantastic things in the head with numbers, but a very simple application of math he couldn't do. You have $1, and even if you tell him that's 100 cents, you spend 50 cents. How much do you have left? And he and that had him baffled.
Yeah, that's what they say. They said that when somebody is a savant, they're usually very severe on the spectrum, because the savantism takes over the it's almost like the most functioning part of the brain, and then the other parts lack severely as far as when they're a savant.
Yeah, and that's the thing that that's what makes the difference between me and a savant who about the only thing he's good at is the one thing that he's really good at.
Yeah, he memorized phone numbers and stuff too, though, right? Like he was good with numbers that way too, right?
Yeah, and I used to memorize phone numbers. Now that we've got cell phones and you keep them in your cell phone, you don't need to dial them. You just press the person's name. Now the only phone number I can remember by heart besides my own is my wife's phone number, and that's even because she was friends with my previous wife, and at the time we had a landline, and so she would call and her number would come up on the phone, and sometimes I had occasion to call her from the landline. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't even have her number memorized. She doesn't even have she has recently made some efforts to memorize my number.
That's funny. Yeah, because people don't see numbers anymore. She says, Linda, there's a movie with a girl with autism. I think it's called Jack of Hearts, but Emily is more higher functioning than her, but it was interesting. They had a girl with autism. Every time I hear somebody say their daughter, I always think there's another girl on the spectrum. So I always think that that's neat. Because, mostly it's boys that are diagnosed. She says, Veronica says, yes, Charles is a math genius. Yeah, because you would definitely be in the gifted math class, or the at least the honors, but definitely I think the gifted math classes.
I finished math 12. I was in 8th grade. So.
Oh my goodness! What did you do after that?
At that point, the school system really had run out of math courses to challenge me. I took some correspondence courses in math from a university, and then finally, in the summer between my junior and senior years, I took an educational course over an educational TV channel. I took a calculus course, and then I took the advanced placement math course that my high school started offering during my senior year. So, I ended up somewhat ahead of my peers, but not way ahead like I originally was. And that's something I've mentioned in the home support. The lady who's running that, is it Victoria? I forget who's running that, but she has found some homeschooling programs that are able to pull in college level courses for kids who have run out of, things. And are high school or the grade school or high school level.
Oh, neat. Yeah, that's like I have my kids in like in our college here, you can do like certain classes if you're on home studies. You can do some of theirs too. Depends on what it is, but yeah, that's good when they can do that because because in high school you can take them in the evening, so you should be able to have the right to do them during home studies. So that's good. And they started, I think, in junior high.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
And even with neurotypical kids, like my daughter, for example, when she was in 7th grade, her reading level tested. They did a test of her reading ability and showed she was reading at college level.
Whoa! And how old was she?
At the time, she was in 7th grade, so she would have been 12.
Whoa! Oh my goodness.
Um,
Yeah, so that's when you sent me the thing for words with friends, I was like, well, maybe he's not as good with words as he is with his math. So I started to play and I thought, no, I was wrong.
Math is part of the game, though, too, because it's knowing how to make the best, how to get the most mileage out of those bonus squares, the double and triple letter scores and the double and triple word scores.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, because you guys, I don't even remember what the score was, but it was bad. It was like he was almost at 300. I was still in the hundreds on the score. But yeah, so anyway, so if he sends you a game invite, you might want to think twice. It was fun though. It was fun, but yeah, he had me really beat. Let me see, in the movie Dear John, Channing Tatum, denial for a long time. A little boy, her neighbor had autism in the movie too, and the mom left because of it. Yeah, it's so strange how all these things come out now. When autism wasn't, like, I always wonder how many people that I've seen that were in special needs before when I was younger, how many of them were actually on the spectrum.
And I can think back to a lot of people, a number of people, let me put it that way, a number of people I've known, including men and women, but most of them male, but not all of them male. As I'm so that I now suspect we're on the autism spectrum.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought Steve and I were talking about that, and I said, yeah, there were probably a lot. They probably either we didn't know the name or we didn't know that they had autism. That was their diagnosis. We just didn't know what the diagnosis was called. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And Lorienda says, but Brandon is terrible with social skills and delayed tying his shoes, matching his clothes, wearing shorts in the winter and coat in the summer. Yeah, that's what Emily's class works on too, and they're 9th and 10th graders. So yeah, I see. That makes sense though. And then they may be doing other things, but then it comes to that part, and then they're not understanding what kind of clothes to wear, what kind of weather days, and things like that. But you can ask him. You can ask him all kind of SpongeBob facts, and he knows the names of who does the voices, who did the certain characters, and things like that, and he knows that. But yeah, I see what she's talking about.
My mom told me that when I was growing up, when I was a little boy, I used to, I had the idea that I could, what clothes to wear was dictated by the time of year. Well, you might it might be a day in early June when it's unusually chilly. Well, you don't dress for summer then, and that's the thing I wasn't getting. I thought, well, it's June, so it's okay to that sort of thing. I understood the need for warmer clothes during certain seasons and cooler clothes during certain other seasons, but I had the idea that it could be dictated strictly by the date in the year as opposed to being dictated by the weather conditions outside.
Like it would just follow it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's the thing that they're learning. They learn every day on the calendar what today was or is, what tomorrow will be, and what the forecast is, and what kind of clothes they should be wearing on certain days. So yeah, that's really good. Lorienda says, I wonder too that Linda, that was on the spectrum when I was growing up, but they called them all slow. Yeah, or special or something like that. And then I wondered, which ones. And and then too, if they had diagnoses, we didn't know what the diagnosis was. I mean, especially if it was an uncommon term. I remember Down syndrome, and that was about it. I loved them. I would sit with them at lunch. They were sweet. Yeah, we used to have a school connected to ours. The school right next door to ours with special needs. And what happened was like 2 of us per day could go over there and work with the kids. And I used to love going over there. Oh my goodness, I always loved going over there and playing with them and helping them and stuff. It was really fun. Maryland weather is moody. So is ours. We couldn't. That's why Emily needs to really learn. Like each day can be different. I think is what we focus on instead of seasons. But
you're mentioning movies about autism. There was a movie made somewhere in the mid decade of 2000 to 2009, somewhere in the middle of that decade, maybe around 2004 or so, somewhere in there. It was set in San Francisco, and the central character was a girl. I don't remember they ever mentioned autism in there, but it's clear that she, it's clear to me she was on the autism spectrum, and her boyfriend, whom she ended up marrying, likewise, he was too. And
I forgot what that movie called.
I can't remember the name of the movie now.
I'm pretty sure the actress was Juliette Lewis. Dark hair.
I can't remember who acted in. I never remember who acted in movies.
Yeah, it was a really good movie. I forgot what they wanted to get married. They kind of proved themselves. They didn't want people to think that they didn't understand things. And I remember there was like a prom or a dance or something. Yeah, but it was a good movie. But if I think about that, yeah, I guess they were supposed to be probably on the spectrum. There's also a documentary like that. I believe it was a documentary. Steve would know it. And it was a few different people on the spectrum that it was about. And it was that was a really good one. I'll have to find that one as well. It was something The Other Sister or something like that is what the movie I think you're talking about.
Oh yeah, I think that's something what like it was. The Other Sister. Yeah, that's the title. Now it comes back to me. Yeah, The Other Sister. Okay.
Yeah, that was Juliette Lewis. Yeah, that was a good movie. I like that. My daughter and I we watched that movie together. That was a really good movie. I didn't even think about that. I don't know if I ever would have thought. Yeah, they must have been on. They were probably on the spectrum for sure. Yeah. She says I saw that movie. Charles, it was with Juliette Lewis. I cannot remember the name of the movie. Yeah, it was called The Other Sister. Yeah, that was a good movie.
That rings the bell. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that was a really good one. I forgot all about that. I don't know if it would have took me having to see that again. That's like What's Eating Gilbert Grape with Johnny Depp and Leonardo DiCaprio. And it was from maybe 94, I think. I went back and I started to read what they thought he was diagnosed with. And they said that it would be, when I was reading an article about it, they said autism. It was a neat article. It was really neat. Every time I watch it, the more and more similarities I see, because Emily's getting older and he was about to turn 16. The more similarities I see. When I seen it when she was younger, I didn't see too many, but now that she's older, I do see a lot of similarities.
Yeah, and also
so it's really neat.
Also, Forrest Gump, the same things have been said about that movie.
I like that one up too. See what they that one didn't have a defining thing though, but yeah, I looked that up to see. Who knows Gilbert Grape and with Leo. See, that's what I was asking Lorianda. Because that's the one I read where he played that really well too, but he was supposed to be in the article I read, he was supposed to have autism. Yeah, he loved his mom. Yeah, it was a really good movie, and he, the more I think about it, the more he seems like, he was probably like a level 2 because he was still needing help with baths. Yeah, Forrest Gump was really good.
If he was supposed to be on the autism spectrum, he would be level 1 definitely. But
for sure. Yeah, because he went into the military and he was very self-sufficient. He did a lot, but he was, it was really, but he had other issues too. Remember, because he had to wear braces, he had physical issues as well. But yeah, but it wasn't, I mean, that was just when he was little though. And that can, that doesn't have to be related or anything. It's an action movie my husband loves with Ben Affleck, and he plays an autistic character as well in the movie. It's good. It's tough. Really? I wonder what movie that is. I'm gonna have to look that one up. I love movies like that. Yeah, and I never seen the movie Radio with Cuba Gooding Jr., so I have no idea. I just know it was a true story. So I didn't know what he was either, but I just remember seeing the previews of him. But I'll have to look into that one too. But yeah, let me see. It's called The Accountant. Really, The Accountant? Oh, that's not that old. I thought it was gonna be an older movie. Okay, a couple things I have to look into.
Yeah.
There was what was that?
You won't generally see autism dealt with in older movies because of the simple fact that not much was known about autism then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would just see like retrospectively, like what is her name? Temple Grandin. When they did her biography movie, when they went back and they did that.
Oh yeah. Cindy and I watched that with my mom. And that was, I think that was back when we were dating too. That Cindy and I watched that with mom, and that was really good.
Yeah, I still have to see that, and I mean to watch it all the time. I need to see that. I want to see Radio now, but oh my goodness, I don't know if I want to cry. Yeah. But yeah, Lorianda says, okay, she needs to go. Okay. Yeah, well, oh, Gloria, we're just about to leave too. But glad that he's down for the night.
All right, and let's say good night.
But, yeah, she said, Gloria said, I'm back. Colton went down for the night. And good night, Lorianda. And so I do a few things with Emily before it's her night. It's on my watch by 6:18. So, okay, so thanks for joining me, Charles.
It's nice my pleasure.
Always.
All right, well, say good night, everyone.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and see you guys next week, next Sunday, probably midweek as well, but we'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye, everybody.